Chairman, thank you, Director Wray. Again, good to see you. I want to, first of all, thank you for your service and the service of the agents in your department. Very important mission you have. I want to talk about things that are important. For me, national security is important. For me, taking care of our military base pay is important. They make $21,000 a year. I'm pushing to get them to minimum wage of $31,000 a year. Everywhere I go to a member, I talk about this because it's important to me. I give floor speeches. I will be doing that again because it's important to me. Every committee hearing I'm in, I talk about military base pay because it's important to me. This is what we do when things are important to us. We make sure that we're talking about them consistently and we're chasing funding for those missions or whatever we consider to be important. I'm concerned that the president, in a year where he is at the top line, asked for about, I think, a 12% increase across all federal agencies, only asked for a 0.3% increase for your budget. That, to me, messages to Congress that he doesn't value the mission of the FBI, frankly, especially relative to other federal agencies. I'm concerned also with regards to this FISA conversation that you haven't mentioned FISA until my colleague from Maryland brought it up. We had Attorney General Garland in a hearing just a couple of weeks ago. He never mentioned FISA until I asked him about it. You know, we've had discussions on the Intelligence Committee about how important it is, and I understand how important it is. But I don't get the sense, you said we can't underscore the importance enough of 702, but I actually think you need to underscore the importance of it a little bit more, okay? You can't go to 435 members or 6 different committees and just say it's important. I can guarantee you won't have the votes in December. This policy, this tool, it turns into a pumpkin in December. It's been in place since 2008. We all understand the value and the importance of it, and I've seen the data that you've shown us in the tank, and it's extremely important. But unless you execute a capture plan, and I've communicated this to Director Haynes at DNI and NSA, as well as your counterparts at CIA, and I communicated this to the Attorney General, this renewal isn't just going to fall into your lap. Okay, and it's not our job to be your business development guys on the policy side. It's not the job of the Intel Committee to be your spokespersons on the policy side. We need you to do the following 3 things, and I'm going to lay this capture plan out for you just like I did the other entities I just talked about. You have to educate every member on Congress on why it's important, the different flavors of FISA, and the products that these products feed into. Okay, that's pillar 1. Pillar 2 is what I call repent and remedy. Okay, there needs to be a public acknowledgement that FISA has been abused, and in a either classified or unclassified environment, explain what protocols have changed, what policies have changed, how we're holding people accountable. We've talked about some of these things in the appropriate spaces, but demonstrate to members of Congress that changes have been implemented such that the abuses that we've seen, that we acknowledge, that we admit to, will not happen again. Okay, very important that this second pillar is executed between now and December. And then the last pillar, which I think is just as important as the first 2, is the accountability piece. We need a pound of flesh, okay? We need to know that someone has been fired. My understanding is no one has been arrested for the sort of abuses of, not sort of, the abuses of FISA of any flavor in the past. No one has been fired or arrested because of these abuses. We've had investigations that have been going on for years, and we haven't seen any conclusion of those things. So I'm telling you that if all we do is try to educate members of Congress, everyone will recognize it's important, and no one will vote for the extension of it before December. If you don't also repent and show the remedy and the protocol changes that have taken place because of the abuses, and you don't also demonstrate that people have been held accountable for it, I can almost assure you, as someone who sits on CJS, HACD, intelligence, that you won't have the votes. As much as we try, we won't be able to get to a majority to support the extension. So you feel free to comment on it, take it as counsel. But I'm telling you, if it's important to you, you guys need to be proactively bringing this up in every single committee hearing, every single engagement with a member of Congress, to include the Senate. And show us that it's important to you. Otherwise, we're going to be in December telling you we don't have the votes. You didn't make it seem like it was important to you.
Well, respectful of the time, I'll just say that I look forward to working with you and the rest of the members, especially on the intelligence committees. And I appreciate you flagging the possibility that my not mentioning it in earlier exchanges could be misconstrued in some way. Obviously, I was trying to be responsive on questions about fentanyl, which is something I also know is very important to you, and organized crime, which I also know, like me, is very important. And so, you know, it's one of the challenges of time limits in these kinds of settings, but certainly point taken, and look forward to working with you on these.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Trone.